Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today we're doing another video part of my new series which is called the Nostalgia Palette. So if you didn't check out my first video, I spoke about the Be Perfect and Stacey Marie Interstellar collection. That was a bit of a mouthful, but today I'm talking about the PLouise Watch the Queen Conquer palette. So what I want to do in this series is go through some of my old favourite palettes, use them, talk about them, maybe talk about why I haven't thrown them away or kind of why I purchased them in the first place. But I mean, this palette has been out for, I'd say, 2 years, and honestly this palette had everyone at a chokehold. I'm not even joking. This palette was everywhere, and I mean, people who love PLouise, I'm pretty sure, have owned this palette, used to have this palette, still have it. It's just such a gorgeous palette. So but that was the outside packaging, but this is actually the palette itself. It's a big one. I think this might have been one of her early like chunky palettes. So this is like, you open it and it's like a chessboard. I remember when the promotion first started coming out and people think you can play chess. Unfortunately, there's no chess pieces, but it's such a stunning kind of middle fold. But yeah, this palette, I remember being like, why is it so big? And you know what? I'm really looking forward to buying it. And I actually think I picked it up on her website like as soon as it came out, because I was like, I need to get this palette. It's stunning. And PLouise now is still absolutely massive. If you go on their TikTok, they are non-stop. They're doing mystery boxes, they're doing this and that, and constant like just growth, which I think is fantastic. I personally haven't picked up anything from PLouise in a while because I picked up their advent calendar. That was very expensive for me, and I just feel like there's nothing at the moment that I really want. Like, a couple of their stuff does look really good and really fun, but I'm just holding off because I don't necessarily need it. So let's look at the first part of this palette. So this is essentially their more colourful side. You've got some gorgeous purples and kind of pinks and some more kind of like neutral, like nude tones at the bottom. That is the first side. And then the second side is again a side that I love using quite a lot. You've got a lot of reds and a whole lot of yellows. So this is one thing that I've noticed in some of her more recent kind of bigger palettes as well. A lot of times I feel like you will get multiple shades of like very similar, like really close to each other. Like, I feel like some of these are very close to each other, and I feel like even though they could be a tone, like a very minuscule difference, I feel like sometimes it's a bit annoying to have something like that. So we're going to use this palette today. I want to use like this side a bit more. I want to use some of these more kind of neutral tones at the bottom because I don't think I've really used them. So I'm actually just going to put on my sellotape and my Urban Decay primer and we'll get started. Now we are ready to go. And I mean, one thing I do like about these palettes, and I will always stand by it when we have we'll talk about PLouise one, packaging, names, embossing, everything is top notch. I mean, even the quality is so damn good. That's why I buy a lot of her palettes, because I feel like I rarely ever get disappointed. It's just that sometimes they kind of bring out so much, and it's kind of reminiscent of like Colourpop and Revolution. Revolution probably don't do it as much now, but Colourpop, where they used to just constantly bring out something every week. And I know that when you're a big brand constantly growing, you want to get so much out there, but they have such a big following where I know they try and make everything as affordable as possible, but sometimes it's just like, if people have that kind of FOMO feeling, then and they're bringing out so much, it can sometimes be a lot. But let's go on to the look. So let's go in with Your Turn just here, which is a really cute embossing of a chess piece. And like I mentioned, this palette is heavily themed around chess and all that stuff as well. So I'm just going to blend this first shade in. It's quite like a light pink, like pinky peach tone. I don't think I've even used this shade before. I kind of used to do videos where I would look at a palette and I would use shades that I hadn't used, because I still have so many palettes from like over the years of me like using makeup, because I've been using makeup a lot for, I'd say, about 10 years now, and I was very like late to the game because I've never been into makeup that much. But I remember when I first bought PLouise, when I kind of discovered them, I don't remember what I first bought, but it must have been maybe some of her lip products or maybe a palette, and that's when I kind of fell in love. And I've just constantly like been using her, and I know that there's been a lot of controversies and issues, and that is not something that I kind of shy away from. I definitely don't. But I kind of feel like people can redeem themselves, and I'm not saying that's what she's doing. I'm not like on her side or anything at all. I just feel like it's good to just, just use the makeup and, everything like that. So I'm just going to quickly move on to another shade called Direction just here. And I feel like with a brand, especially this brand, like I mentioned, with their controversies and everything, they do grow quite a lot. They've got such a big like following. It's insane. I know that they did a collaboration with Michaela, which was pretty crazy because I mean, Michaela is not who someone I kind of look up to that much when it comes to makeup. I enjoy her videos. I don't think she necessarily influences me because she has so many videos, so many things, but I think that their collaboration was definitely interesting. Like, I felt like it was definitely more of a cash grab than anything else because I know Michaela works with so many different brands, and I know that page doesn't really do a lot of collaborations, but I felt like for PLouise to get more out there in America, I felt like having someone like Michaela was probably perfect to do something like that. I mean, straight after like Lashgate and all that other stuff was probably not the best timing, but palettes take a while to make and collaborations make a long time to make. So two kind of quote unquote controversial brands coming together was pretty interesting. I didn't pick up that collection because it was a heavily kind of like blue collection and I just wasn't really vibing with it that much. So let's go on to C's just here, and we're kind of going through a lot of this like last last kind of section, which is fine because again, I don't want to go too heavy with some of the deeper shades. I'm just going in with as many shades as I can, especially ones that I've not used. But I know a few people who do follow me on here do like PLouise, so tell me what your favorite like palette is or collection, because for me there's been so many different ones that I enjoy. Like I really like her wedding collections, like her XL palettes, and even the kind of smaller palettes I really enjoy. Her advent calendar was something that I didn't you never really thought I was going to buy, and I bought it on a whim because I felt like it was definitely worth getting, especially when kind of I paid in installments, so that was kind of perfect for me. But on the long haul, it's quite difficult to kind of say if it was worth it now because I rarely have used a lot of the products. Like I use a lot of the skincare products, like the moisturizer that came in it. I use that on a nightly basis and it is really good. It's so hydrating, so moisturizing. And I feel like a lot of her lip products are okay. Like I know in her budget boxes, they every single time they have a lip product, especially like their lip drips or whatever they're called, and they're quite boring now. I feel like there's only so much that you can get. Like I don't have a budget box because I feel like I don't want to commit £30 every month to just one brand, especially when essentially it's a mystery box or whatever. I know that's the whole point, but I just feel like for me it's probably not that worth it. Maybe in the future if they reduce the price, which I doubt because £30 is still very good, but I feel like I'm okay. I just watched Alexandria Ryan's like review on them eventually when she does them. I'm gonna go in with Making Moves just here, and I'm gonna just maybe put that over maybe in the middle of the crease just to kind of deepen it up because it's a bit of a purple shade. So yeah, I mean, PLouise is a brand that I again still use on a regular basis when I'm doing makeup, like for work or for not videos. I just occasionally like use her stuff. It's not like I am a die-hard fan like I used to be. Like I still really enjoy the videos and the TikToks, and I like their team is really sweet. Like I feel like they look like a nice bunch of people, but I just feel like the whole aesthetic is a little bit too much. Like the way that they talk really annoys me, and it's just so over the top and it's a bit too dramatic for me when I just want to see the makeup and all that stuff as well. But maybe I'm just thinking too much into it, I don't know. But again, makeup wise, I don't think I've ever been like disappointed with anything. Like I don't feel like I've kind of gone, oh, this is rubbish, I'm just going to throw it away, because again, a lot of her stuff is really great quality. So I'm just going to end on a shimmer, and I feel like going in with Revival. I might try my finger because I feel like that might do a better job. And it's kind of like a pinky peach tone. And this is not always like a look that I would go for. I just feel like it's something a bit different because I could have gone in with like the purple or a red, but I felt like I obviously do those quite frequently. So I felt like let's do something a bit different. And this is stunning. I really like this look that I've done. I will obviously show you guys when I put the rest of my makeup on because I feel like I will look much better once you see everything all together. Okay, perfect. So, I mean, I'm going to stop there with the eyes and I'm going to just put on the rest of my face and then we'll have the final talk. Okay, this is not the best complexion look I've ever done. It actually looks terrible, like my foundation is a big no-no. But anyway, we'll talk about the eyes today, and this palette I still absolutely love. I mean, the eyes, I feel like the color wise, I've tried to use as many shades as I can, as you saw. So I've used about what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's being adventurous for me. And I feel like when it comes to palettes like these, they sometimes can be a bit overwhelming, especially with a couple of her other palettes, like they're absolutely massive. And I've always said I have a slight issue with how big they are. Why is there so many shades in them? Why are so many look quite repetitive? This palette I don't feel like is as bad as some of the later ones when it comes to repetition and just kind of the excessive amount of shades. But I feel like at the time I really enjoyed it, and I still really do, and that's probably why I've never thrown it away, because I always do declutters and I always try and kind of minimize my collection, because now I'm going to have to start reducing it even more when, like, in a couple of months when I need to move from here. But I just feel like these type of palettes are always going to be such great quality. I felt like they don't dry out, they blend super nicely, and the fact that the color stories work so well together, and again, because there's two sections, you're not always just fixed to like one theme. And I like the actual theme of this palette as well. Like, I'm not a big chess player. I used to play a lot when I was young, but I don't know what I'm doing nowadays. But again, all her themes work really well. And even though some of them I'm not the biggest fan of, like I know she did a butterflies one recently, because I'm not a big fan of pastel shades, but again, it's not something that I would go out of my way to buy, but a lot of people still buy. And let me know if you've got this palette or if you still have it or you had it, because I'm very intrigued to see, you know, 2 years or so down the line, are people still using this, still kind of talking about it? Is it gathering dust? And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this type of video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there, and appreciate you sitting down listening to me ramble on. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.